AITA for not giving our baby girl a gender-neutral name. Wife, 27F, and I, 27M, are expecting a baby girl by June. We both agreed we wanted to know the baby's gender just for curiosity since she is our first baby. We have been together for 8 years and married for 2. We have had the baby talk before and we discussed how many we plan on having, where, how far apart in age we would like them to be, etc. Names hadn't been an issue until we found out the sex. I love the name Juliet for a baby girl, but my wife says she doesn't want any traditional girl or boy's name. She wants a gender-neutral name in case our kids ever decide they want to transition. I agree there is some beautiful gender-neutral names like Riley for example, but even that name she says has become more female representing. I mentioned to her that most people who transition end up changing their names to one they identify with, so even if we were to give them a gender-neutral name they might end up changing it. I also mentioned some people change their names just because. My grandma being one of those people, and I used her as an example, but she won't budge. Wife kind of threatened to not give me a choice and will tell nurses and doctors beforehand to not ask me for the baby's information for the birth certificate. I feel it is ridiculous and a name shouldn't take away any rights or opinions on my baby girl. I just need to know Reddit. AITA for not choosing a gender-neutral name for our baby girl? Edit. The names I had in mind apart from Juliet was Orion, Violet, Scarlet and Dakota, primarily traditional girl names. Names she's chosen are Hunter, Scout, Peyton, Rory, Morgan and Kai. I would love to those who are making and are planning on making hurtful, ignorant, and homophobic comments to stop and not comment at all. My post is not about your hateful beliefs. Thank you. NTA. A name doesn't determine someone's gender. Your wife threatening you with that is a huge move though. NTA. Take it from a trans person. Your wife is very much overthinking this. Your kid can always change her name whenever she feels like it. So picking a name to be gender neutral won't actually matter that much. NTA. You have just as much of a right to voice an opinion about your baby's name. Maybe you can do 2 names? Like a girly name and a gender-neutral middle name so you'll both be happy? Either way, you both should work towards a compromise. Not her way, and that's that. NTA. I had a very feminine name and I hated it my entire life. I changed it legally a few years back. I'm not trans, but I did choose a gender-neutral name for myself. Mostly because it's a name I've always loved. Your wife is being ridiculous. There is no way to tell if your daughter will even like her name, period. NTA. First of all, baby names are a 2 yeses situation. 1 no, and it's vetoed, so you're all good there. Second of all, I'm a woman with a gender-neutral name. And don't get me wrong, I love my name, but I hate how many times I get letters and emails addressed to Mr. Athena, or people suddenly refusing to work with me after work has already been done because they discovered I'm a woman and don't think women are competent. Fortunately, that last one is happening less and less. But it has happened. Once. I even had my insurance deny my annual OBGYN visit because some bozo at the insurance company just saw my name, didn't check what I'd actually filled out, and wrote in that I was male. I literally had to have a conversation with my insurance company explaining that I didn't care what their computer said. I'm female and always have been. Again, I love my name because it's pretty unique in its way. But it also has caused me some major aggravation over the years. The odds of your child wanting to transition in the future are slim. And even if they do, they can choose their own name. Meantime, your wife is pulling a shenanigans by finding the solution before there's a problem. Find a name you both like. Edit. Many typos. Woof. I need more coffee. Wife kind of threatened to not give me a choice and will tell nurses and doctors beforehand to not ask me for the baby's information for the birth certificate. This is what pushed it from NAH to NTA. You did choose a gender-neutral name. Your wife just decided it wasn't gender-neutral enough? What names has she suggested? The probability of your kid transitioning out of all the kids in the world is real low. Your wife is overthinking this. Just name the kid what you guys like, not on a what-if situation that is likely never to happen. NTA. Most people transitioning call it a dead name, and won't use the name to transition because they are creating their true selves, which usually does not include their original name. I think Juliet is beautiful. I am not sure if maybe your wife would side on it if you thought of potentially a more feminine name relating to her family. Personally, I love special meaning behind names. Tattoos. You name it. And maybe having Juliet as the middle name? Good luck op. NTA. While your wife's intentions are good, you don't know if your baby will even want to keep their name if they transition. I have a friend who is transitioning and she has changed her name despite it being a gender-neutral name to begin with. To her, the name was representative of her life before the transition. Edit. I don't know if I somehow missed an entire paragraph? Or if the part about the wife telling the doctors and midwives to not allow op to see the birth cert, etc. was edited in after my response. If this is actually the case, you need to have a serious conversation with your wife, potentially with a neutral third party. 'Cause there's gonna be a lot more decisions to make when your baby arrives, and threatening from either party is so not acceptable or productive. NTA. I think if your child does end up identifying as a different gender and wishes to change their name, having two supportive parents cheering them on is going to mean so much more than whether or not their current name was neutral enough. Choose a name you both like. Choose it with love. It shouldn't be this big of an issue. And I think your wife, while good-intentioned, is choosing a really worthless battle to fight. NTA. I can only believe that if someone decides to transition, them choosing their own name is part of the process. NTA. But your wife sounds nuts. You have no idea what the world will be like in the future. You have no idea how your daughter will turn out. Trust me, I have 2 kids. No way to predict the future. Making a covert operation of filling out the birth certificate is petty and immature. Good luck parenting with her. This is worrying to me. Your child is not even here yet and she is already threatening to cut you out of a very important part of the baby's life because you won't do what she wants. Also, I have never heard of anyone giving a child a gender-neutral name in case they want to transition. Like, who is even thinking if that before a child is born? I think some serious counseling should be in order because I personally would be worried about her projecting something she wants onto your child. Some parents think they are being helpful by guiding a child from an early age to not identify with their gender. That is no more helpful than forcing a female who prefers pants, short hair and no makeup into dresses and highlights. This is an actual issue that needs to be addressed before the child is born. NTA. By the way. NTA. The reasons have been explained plenty by the other commenters. Also, counter-argument. I am a woman and I've always liked being a girl growing up. My name isn't traditionally feminine, though, which I really hated growing up, to the point of having people call me a different name for a while. No matter what you do, your kid might not like the name for a gazillion reasons. Pick one that both of you like and that won't make your kid the butt of stupid jokes and you're good. Well, Who's to say Juliet won't be a gender-neutral name in the future? We've already got Kelly, Sammy, Kim, Lynn, Jack, etc. All names used traditionally for one gender but gradually being more commonly used for the opposite gender. NTA because names can be changed in the future. And most trans people with unisex names end up changing them anyway. NTA, if your child is trans and your wife wins this battle of the names, she is likely going to be angry with your child when he changes his perfect gender-neutral name. When he transitions, she will lord it over him that she picked this name specifically so he could keep the name she gave him if he was trans. I am raising a trans teenager and he went through many names until he found his name. One of his biggest hurdles was his bio mom being upset about not picking his name. It's all good now. They picked a name together. NTA. I might be wrong, but I'm under the impression that for many transgender people, choosing a new name is a way to break from the old life into the new. NTA. What an odd circumstance to plan for. Considering people who transition sometimes take a completely different name and sometimes take a variation of their birth name. Your wife's threat is nuts. NTA. I love the name Juliet for a baby girl, but my wife says she doesn't want any traditional girl or boy's name. She wants a gender-neutral name in case our kids ever decide they want to transition. Why stop at just gender? What happens the kid decides to convert to Islam? Should probably give her Muslim name just in case. NTA. But you need to find a name you both like. Hopefully Juliet isn't your only pick. Make a list, etc. I think you're right that transitions are commonly accompanied by a name change. Also point out that names evolve over time. Ashley and Lauren, for example, used to be men's names.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.